Welcome to episode 3 of Heat Check. We got some exciting things to talk about today. I am joined by
Joey Bohley,
Brandon LaRocco,
Daniel Costantino,
Ethan Ruh,
Dylan Wolfson,
Ethan Dewald,
and I'm Abhishek Goel. Let's get ready to rumble.
Get ready to rumble, bro.
I don't know about that one.
Alright, so recently I was posed with a very interesting question about animals and the human race and about competition between the two. So the question that I was asked was mainly about giraffes, which was really interesting. Giraffes they're good animals.
Very cool.
But also the conversation kind of continued on to different animals. But the question I want to pose today is how many humans do you think it would take to beat a singular giraffe in a fight?
what type of people are we talking? Are you talking your average
What
Joe? Are we
type
talking
of people?
professional athletes?
That's crazy. That was the first question.
Professional athletes,
Average,
college students.
average people, men and women, just like an average person, run of the mill people, and then you just send them out. How many people do you think it would take to beat a giraffe in a fight? No technology, just no bars fighting.
Just hands.
So
right?
no
At
spears.
least three.
I
feel like
that is at least
I feel like 3 is,
Three
not
they would get smacked.
I feel
by the
like
giraffe
40
in a
people
heartbeat.
feels like a good spot, because then you get like 10 people hanging on each leg, or like you even have like 8 people hanging on each leg, and then other people just like, I don't know.
The thing is, like, what's your strategy?
Yeah,
I vote 20. I vote 20.
You just got to get it on the ground.
You gotta go for the leg
and start
somehow.
beating its head.
Hear me. So,
Whoa! Oh my God!
I think the best way to go about it is 20 people and going for one leg at a time. Because crowding
that one
around
scene
one
in
leg
Star
and
Wars.
basically eliminating and taking away that
You just
leg
have to break one leg and it's down.
That's true.
You see,
I'm not trying to like hurt the giraffe,
Yeah,
but
like-
I'm just trying to get at that shit.
in this situation, you're trying to hurt the giraffe. Let me tell
hurt
you.
the
Yeah,
But
you're
it's
fighting a
you
giraffe.
or the giraffe.
I mean, giraffes are cool though.
Bro.
they are pretty cool. Like,
Are you saying
I
like
think
you'd
a
let
very
yourself
important
lose?
part of this debate is, recognizing that a giraffe is 16 to 20 feet tall.
yeah, y'all are underestimating how huge a giraffe is. They weigh about a ton,
It's pretty big.
and they can run like 35 miles per hour.
So how are we going to catch a giraffe?
If you-
No,
It's
trying
in
to
like
kill
a
us at the
contained.
this is like Coliseum style. The giraffe can it can like move around, but it's not gonna like run away from you.
Because the giraffe wants climb up to the like wall, mess you jump. guys up too.
Like,
I mean, like I feel like I'm just going to get curb stomped by the giraffe, and that's pretty much going to be the end of it.
but like
I
I
can't
feel
even
like if you-
imagine watching a giraffe go 37 miles an hour. Like,
That'd be horrifying.
They look so awkward, but like those legs are so long. So like one step and they're like in a new area
moving,
code.
bro.
Like I'm telling you.
They do
But
move.
when you're fighting an animal, the main strategy is usually to go to like the eyes or throat. But like you
Do you,
can't.
do you speak
can't
from
get there.
experience?
Let me tell you.
Damn
No.
dogs.
But so the trick is really just getting to the head. That's all.
yeah.
But also like those giraffe bones in the legs,
I'm sure they're strong.
they're hard.
Dude,
they
those
must be
giraffe tongues
hard
are
to
wild.
break.
Have you
They
ever
are.
seen a giraffe?
They
Why
are
are they
black.
that?
They're
They're
black
so
and
big.
huge. I've fed a giraffe before. Crazy. My hand was just sopping wet afterwards. It was crazy.
Was it like dripping or like?
No, yeah, it was dripping. Like I like held out my hand. This is at a zoo, by the way. Zoos are kind of whack, but that's a topic for another day. But I was holding the food and it just like licked me all over, like wrist down, and I was just like covered in giraffe saliva.
Pretty nasty. But it seems kind of cool though.
Yeah, it's a cool experience. Wouldn't really recommend it. But. So after talking about the giraffe, so you guys say about like 25?
I think
At least
20.
20.
Yeah,
Bare
yeah.
minimum.
Yeah.
At least 3.
Probably
Bare
like
minimum.
All right, Joey.
I think teamwork is key in this situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So definitely like 20, 25.
So also, then the next question I have: what about a hippo?
Oof.
Bro,
That's a lot more. That's
hippos
Hippos
will kill you.
Hippos are scary. Like they can crunch you
They're
so
the
easy.
number 2 deadliest animal on the planet.
Oh yeah, what's number 1?
Mosquito.
Dang.
Yeah,
How many people in a fight mosquito?
Bro, I'll fight a mosquito. me one-on-one with a mosquito, like...
Well, like,
Yeah, look, all I'm saying,
it'll give you some disease, and
if
you'll
you
die.
can beat the number 1 deadliest animal in a fight, then you should be able to beat the number 2 deadliest animal
I mean,
in a
you'd
fight,
think
right?
that.
You would think that.
You think that. But I guess that's not the case.
Bro, hippos are kind of like...
Bro,
really
hippos
big.
are huge.
They got massive.
Yeah, they're
4,000
like
pounds.
2
Yeah,
tons.
They got hella girth.
And they're
Like,
speedy, too. They can run like 20 miles per hour.
Wow.
They have
I don't-
very strong mouths.
I don't really want to fight a hippo.
They will.
I'm saying.
I'm not
No.
gonna lie.
If you punch it, nothing happens.
Yeah.
At least you can like get to like the eyes and like.
I was gonna say, like,
Bro,
what's
but
the
it'll kill them,
strategy? What's the strategy for?
I'm
taking
like,
that
You
animal?
gotta-
honestly,
you
I'm
gotta
thinking like
just-
100 people and a hippo. I'm not even sure if those 100 people win. You know?
Yeah.
I'd take 100 people.
I'd
Yeah,
take
take
a
100
100.
100 is a
100's
lot.
kinda wild.
100's a
Yeah.
lot
At
against
some point,
anything.
You're only gonna get at like 15 around it at
Yeah.
any given time. So at that point, you're just having enough cannon fodder to get
Yeah,
to
you're just
it.
at that point you're just throwing bodies.
Yeah.
Like,
Wishing for the best.
Throw the
just
weakest
like
in
tiring
front.
the hippo
and then
out by having it just like
Yeah.
kill a bunch of people.
Wow,
You know,
that's pretty gruesome.
Throw the weakest,
sad.
weakest first. Hippo eats the weakest. You kill the hippo while it's eating the weakest.
Oh man.
All right, so moving
Oh my
on,
God.
this is kind of like the same question, but kind of in an opposite like way of thinking about things. So, you individually, how many 5-year-olds do you think you could beat in a fight, like Coliseum style?
So me
They're all
versus
coming at you.
5-year-olds.
5-years.
Like all at once, or like
Like,
you know,
yeah,
a
like all at
series
once.
Of 5-year-olds.
Like
They-
no
they'll
weapons.
like come at you with like waves of like.
It's like
I don't
Call
know,
of Duty
10.
Zombie.
Yeah, kind of like Call of Duty Zombies with
Fights
5-year-olds.
So like no weapons, like
No
just
weapons,
hand to hand.
just hand to hand.
I feel like this is a very important question. Are the 5-year-olds they're just like fresh off the nap, or like did the 5-year-olds have like a little bit of sugar right before?
They're,
they
I
saw
mean,
it?
they're like ready to go 5-year. They're like,
I feel like they
Are
just
they
had a
more-
piece of cake,
they're kind of like,
and they're
like
bummed.
imagine like 5-year-olds like with like rabies.
Oh,
That's not a pleasant sight. Or a pleasant thought, really.
Yeah.
That's kind of
I
what
feel
I
like-
picture, or like 5-year-old zombies. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like I could disarm a lot of 5-year-olds. Like,
What? They don't have anything in their hands.
Overwhelm you
Just
though.
disable them though. Bro,
yo,
if
you
they're zombies,
could.
bro,
I think you meant
could rip
literally
off,
disarm.
bro,
like
if
a
they're
5-year-old's
zombie
arm. Is that what you
5-year-olds,
mean
bro,
by?
you can just rip off their arms.
I mean,
that
if
would
you,
take a lot. I mean, I've never tried anything
Yeah,
to
I've never-
resemble that. I don't know.
I mean, bro, it's a zombie. Like,
I would just like.
These
I
are
feel like
just
it's easier to
important
just like
theoretical
drop them on
questions.
the ground or something like that before.
Yeah,
you,
I feel
rip
like-
off
Like,
their whole arm.
Okay,
That's
so
kind
the
of like
important thing
hard.
is 1v1, taking a 5-year-old. You know,
Cake.
I can do that in my
Yeah.
sleep.
Yeah.
But the problem is, how many 5-year-olds, you know, would it become like more taxing?
you got to
Yeah.
remember that 5-year-olds, they're going to be throwing hands, but they're also going to be biting like crazy.
That's
I mean,
true.
they're
They, like,
Falling
they'll
all
go
over
crazy.
you, trying to get you down.
Like,
I feel like once
little
they get you
little
down-
pinches, they'll get you with that, you know.
like, if you bite, kick. I mean, come on.
But
if you think about it, like it doesn't really take much to like take down a 5-year-old. All you kind of have to do is like push them, and then they'll start like crying and leave you alone. So like I could probably go for hours if I'm being honest with you, just like shoving them down. Like they're not gonna get back up. They're gonna start crying. Like get away from you.
But if these
but
Not that I
rabies-
would
No,
know
yeah,
from
I feel
experience.
like these ones like
what if there were
don't.
20 coming
Yeah.
at you at like every direction at once? You can't push 20 down at once.
I mean,
do you like in that situation? In this situation, do you just like kick them or like?
I don't even. I
What's
start
what's
running.
this? No, you can't.
You
run.
can't
can't
run.
run.
Well, Joe,
just
you
have
can't run
fun.
to.
Bro,
to
you just
begin
start
with.
running around in circles, they'll get tired.
Just start punting.
No,
them.
5-year-olds.
Use
Punting
your-
5
I feel like
No,
you
but
should
legs
would
they're coming at you
outlast
from all sides. Where are you gonna run?
I'm just
I think
not
you
playing
definitely need to
5-year-olds.
use your legs, keep them somewhat at a distance, because, like
Yeah.
I said, they're gonna like once they get in within a certain distance of you, it's going to be like one's going to be like
it's gonna be a
pinching you
wrap.
or
That
like
means you
scratching,
can
the other one's going to be biting you from behind. Like if you can try and keep them at a distance, you have a shot of taking on more than one.
Yeah.
I
If
was
you let
like-
them get close to you, then you can
I'd
get
say my
overwhelmed.
max would probably be 25.
I feel like you
At a
gotta
time.
like take
Yeah.
it like a running back, you know, just like run into them almost,
Yeah.
and then that way
That
they
could
can't
work.
really get any
That
close
could
to you.
work.
you gotta use like
What do
the
you think,
reach.
Ethan?
You know, I think I could probably take a wave of like 30 or 35 at a time. Maybe more, if probably less.
That's a
I'm
lot.
I'm
Not
feeling
even
I'm
a
feeling
lot.
confident in myself.
That's like a whole
I
preschool,
mean,
bro.
you know,
That-
we got the third.
Well, when you put it
Place
like that, I
wrestler
feel
here.
Yeah,
bad.
like Jesus,
I
like
didn't mean to put it like
You
that. In terms of like the amount of kids, I feel like that's a lot.
Just a disclaimer: I don't like killing giraffes and/or
yeah. You know what's crazy? Like if PETA
Or
ever listened to
hippos.
this,
yeah, no,
they
I'm
would
screwed,
be like,
dude. I'm screwed.
they'd be like, yeah, no
I have
sponsor.
a hypothetical question.
No
Yeah.
animals or 5-year-olds were harmed in the theories posed today.
Yeah. So my question is, if you got the sun against 1 trillion lions, who wins?
A
The sun.
trillion.
How would a lion beat the
How
sun?
would the sun
Doesn't-
lose?
Bro, I'm saying I think you could extinguish the sun with a trillion lions.
There are billions of fusion explosions
Bro,
going on
do
inside
you know
the
how many
sun.
lions? A
A
trillion lions?
trillion
That's so
lions.
many lions.
That's a lot of lions, but like the sun is huge, and like
pretty
once
sure-
they get close, they're just gonna like disintegrate.
just-
That's
Yeah.
the thing, though. But like, it can't stop all of them.
You
Yeah,
can
it kind of
Can
can.
very much
I don't
so.
know.
If
I'm not a
all the
science
lions
guy.
cover the sun,
A trillion lions will not cover the sun.
First of all,
I don't know.
even if you had enough lions to cover the sun,
Yeah,
what would
they'd
that
probably-
do?
they'd probably get
What would
messed
that
up
do?
They would
real
just,
quick.
yeah.
It'd be dark for like 1 second. It'd be
1
like,
second
oh,
really
be like,
pushing
oh,
it.
what was that?
Yeah, that was the solar eclipse.
Yeah,
trillion,
I
a
think I'd
trillion
take the sun
lions
on
wouldn't
this one.
cover the Earth. And do you know how many
trillion
Earths are in the sun?
Yeah,
Bro,
no.
But I'm
a
saying
trillion
that
lions,
moon
that's
last
a
night
lot.
was just a bunch of lions.
I wonder if the answer changes if it's like 10 trillion lions.
Bro, 100 trillion lions.
100 trillion lions.
They would just get
No.
they would
I don't
just
care how
replace
many
the
lions
fuel
it
and
is,
they would just get
honestly.
incinerated.
All right, so
About like a 10 trillion water bottles, though.
No.
Well, now you really changed the
Bro.
game.
No.
all right, back to the 5-year-olds. Well, okay, is it too far if I ask like how many like 90-year-olds you could beat in a fight?
I mean,
I feel like it's
we could
more
humor
than
the
the
Do they have
5-year-olds.
canes?
We could take this
Do
down.
they have canes?
I
That's
don't
a word
know.
that
Might
we
be
could use
too
against
far.
them.
No, yeah.
Might be too far. However, probably more than the 5-year-olds.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely
More?
than the
They-
5-year-olds.
'cause, like,
Oh,
they
God.
can
Less
take
energy.
it.
More?
They have less
Bro.
energy.
Dude, 9-year-olds can't move.
If you
but
get
like
them, yeah,
you'll get like every like in an average group of 90-year-olds, you'll get like one or two that'll just
Pretty
like
sprightly.
still be
Yeah.
pretty spry.
oh yeah,
for
because
their
like you see the
age.
ones at the gym.
Yeah.
Oh,
mean,
maybe
they're not
90,
90.
not
Ones that
90.
do
Yeah,
walks
yeah, I'm
every
sure.
day.
What about like 80?
I mean, I don't know. What's the difference between like 80 and 90?
I feel
Oh,
like
there's a lot of
I feel like
difference.
that. I
There's
feel
10
like there's a big
I
difference.
mean, thanks for the
Like,
10 years answer, but like still, like I don't really know. I mean, they probably get like I don't know, a little bit more like broken down between 80 and 90, but
I think that the age with like the age of your assailant, like going from the 5 to the 80, it's kind of like a normal bell curve, where like it's very easy to start, and then you get to like the 20s, 30s, 40s, and it's like probably the hardest. But then once you hit like 50 or 60, it's probably just gonna get easier and easier and easier, because even your like outliers that are like super spry, like ancient men and
Their
women,
bones
they're
are
not
very
going to
thin.
be able to be nearly as fast as the 20, 30, or even 5-year-old
that's true.
people.
Yeah.
5-year-olds
So,
got
I feel
speed
like
and quickness.
The older you get past a certain point, you can take more.
But like, who would win in a fight? A 5-year-old or an 80-year-old?
Definitely the 80-year-old.
Definitely the
80-year-old.
80-year-old.
It's more just like the group aspect of it. The fact that multiple ones are coming at you that makes a 5-year-old more
Yeah.
dangerous.
I
Who
do
would
feel
win,
like
an
5-year-olds
80-year-old
in
or,
a
like,
group are
3
much
5-year-olds?
scarier than like
Yes.
a
Yeah.
mob of like grandmas and grandpas.
Yeah.
maybe
That
we
is
should.
weird that like you would take. I mean, I would too take like
Yeah.
an 80-year-old over a 5-year-old. But when it comes to a mob, I'm
It's-
clueless. You know,
Yeah.
We might have to
Mob
test
them
this
up.
out.
Oh,
Whoa.
That's too far.
I don't know about testing it out there.
All right, I've got another theoretical question. I think this one's really interesting. So, which animal species do you think would win in a war against other animal species if every like creature in that like population like banded together, created an army, and they were organized and fought against all the other like other creatures? So
Bro,
like
is it just like a free for all among all the species?
basically like theoretical. So like
Species
but
forming armies.
but
against other
the catch is like it depends on the population size like now. So like there are like 7 billion humans, so like they
like,
would fight
pandas
against
aren't
like 500,000 elephants, because that's the elephant population. Or
Bro,
like
is this just like hand-to-hand combat or like?
yeah,
mean,
no
it's whatever.
technology.
Well, I mean, the animals don't have hands.
No
so-
technology. So like there are 10 quadrillion ants
Bro,
on
I
this
was
earth.
taking ants.
I want to say that if all of the ants in the world banded together, they could beat all of the elephants in the world.
They definitely
Like,
could.
I think
Oh,
so. Yeah.
It would take a while.
It would take a while, but when you like, that's 20 million ants per elephant.
I've read somewhere that there are enough ants on the planet to completely cover the surface of the planet. So I think the ants would definitely win
Yeah.
any
Yeah.
fight
But
that we could think
They're
of.
small enough to be
But what
hard
kind
to
of
like.
damage is an
yeah,
ant
but-
doing?
That's
to-
true.
How are you gonna tell me that ants are gonna all the ants
There
are
are
gonna kill all the
poisonous
whales?
ants.
Abby, have you
There
ever
are-
sat on an anthill before? Do you know how painful that is?
But
imagine
that's
20
the thing.
million ants on you at a time.
Well, the ants
as
are
an
biting you.
elephant.
The ants are like
And
biting
they're going
away.
like after
And ants-
everything, eyes, like ears, nose, mouth. I mean, they're going after you.
I mean, it's like they get inside of you.
Yeah.
I think the ants can beat them.
I think the ants have a very
I
clear
think-
shot to victory.
Yeah,
over
they
any
have-
other species.
the ants can definitely do it.
And like ants are also the strongest animal as far as the amount that they
Yes,
can lift
that is
compared
true.
to their weight.
What about like what do you think are some other contenders? What kind of animals do you think?
The
could contend for that
mosquitoes.
Yeah,
Could you?
title? Mosquitoes could be that but
Hornets.
the thing about the hippo is there's only like what about like 150,000
I think
Yeah,
there's
I mean,
many
If
more
you want to
than
talk
that.
about vertebrae, like whales.
whales?
Most whales don't even have teeth.
What would whales do?
They can't
to
survive
be,
on
like,
land
to like
and they
kill
don't
an
have
elephant?
teeth.
Alright, so what's an elephant gonna do to kill a whale?
Spirit.
Yeah,
What?
I feel like
No, you can't
Tell me how an elephant is gonna go get a whale.
But there's
Elephant
like
can
more.
literally
Though.
just like prevent the whale from coming to the surface, like just like land on it.
all right,
cover the
land
blowhole.
animals.
Land animals.
How many like
blue whales weigh like 100 tons?
Yeah,
how many rats are there in the world?
Too many.
I feel like they could probably be a contender as well.
That's probably
If they all
enough.
team up
yeah,
at once, like
Yeah.
on some Ratatouille type.
I feel
beat.
like
like
humans aren't gonna do that well.
Humans
Really?
would lose so fast
I don't
without
know.
technology. Without
Without
technology.
technology.
Well, yeah,
we're
without
screwed.
technology,
Yeah.
but
If we can have like fire, that's a different story.
Well,
But-
we can't.
I know. That's
Without-
what I'm saying.
without-
I'm
yeah,
saying
I
without
know.
fire, we're done.
Yeah.
but like against like an elephant, like that's what is it? I don't know, like 14,000 humans per elephant. 14,000 humans could kill an elephant. I would hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like humans would do pretty good in that competition.
But like, if you took the human population like right now, I don't think every human being would physically be able
There
to
are a lot of
contribute.
babies and a lot of old people.
A lot of babies, a lot of old, and a lot of
All
out
right.
of shape. You
But
would
still-
not.
But
You would
but
have a
still,
very limited,
that's
like
a lot
actual
of
fighting
still a
force
lot
of
of
people.
A lot of damage.
I think my top three contenders are rats, ants, and humans.
I liked what you said earlier about hornets. I'd be afraid of a, flock of hornets coming right at you.
Flock.
Millions of
I mean,
hornets coming
flock of
straight for your
hornets?
face.
Yeah.
What about like a bird? You think like a
Birds
Oh,
will mess
what?
you up.
like
Oh,
a
Bro, like
Maybe
like
if
a
I
falcon or like a
like a
hawk.
I mean, I
Falcon
feel like
could
you have
just,
to
like-
separate into bird species. If all the birds, then that's wild. Like,
But then
if
you
Oh,
have
yeah.
to do all mammals.
yeah, like
If the birds like all teamed up, that would be like wild.
That would be like.
Because
like
like
a
The most
movie
common
with
bird
that.
is the chicken, and they have about 19 billion chickens roaming this
like
world.
and
I
like
could definitely kill
Wait.
like 3 chickens.
Yeah.
wait,
We would
if,
smack
like-
the chickens.
Yes.
if like could species team up? So like if like humans team up
Make
with like
alliances.
chickens, like you know how like they have like the Mexican like chicken fighting, like they put like the razor blades on the chickens. Like we could do that. We could team up, put the
Would that
razor
be
blades.
considered technology?
Yeah.
Oh, are we
Yeah,
not allowed to
razor
use
and
technology?
technology.
But
and,
like, okay.
I feel like we shouldn't team up. I feel like that's against the
Yeah.
rules.
You know, like Model
Oh.
UN. We could do like Model UN for this and like create
Yes.
like
Yeah.
a war between species.
Zebras.
Zebras
What
would
are they
get
gonna do?
smacked. Oh, they would not stand a chance.
Bro, you're telling me zebras wouldn't even make it out of like the Africa
Yeah.
bracket?
Did you watch?
No.
that?
Why would they make it out of
Bro,
the
that's like the
Africa
hardest
bracket?
bracket. That's like the West.
I'm saying.
Australia is definitely the hardest bracket, but
Oh,
I think
Australia.
I mean,
I
yeah, that's
think-
true.
Africa's a close second.
Yeah.
Australia.
Come on, you said the African.
Bro, you're telling me there's not a bracket for every continent?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Who would be in like the North American bracket?
Bro,
Like
like
bears.
Cows and bears.
chickens.
Chickens.
Ants.
I feel like ants are
Hornets.
everywhere.
The ants are in every bracket.
Yeah.
That's fair.
There's got to be like a
Yeah, what's like
There's, like, the
limited to
global
North
bracket.
America.
Oh, that
Yeah.
I was
global
gonna say, I
bracket.
thought we were talking about more of a worldwide.
Yeah,
thing.
worldwide.
Yeah.
You gotta have the conference championships of every continent.
Exactly.
Who would win? Never mind.
The Patriots and like shit.
Somehow the Patriots have still found a way to win.
Somehow the Warriors would still win. Like
What if, like, I mean, we're hyping the ants up a lot. What if, like, the ants are the warriors of the animal kingdom in this scenario, but then they get upset by, like, one
Rats.
LeBron,
like
Frog.
a
like
frog.
a frog. Yeah, LeBron's the frog. Like
We're talking
I mean, it could be
LeBron.
a
What about
hungry
goats?
frog.
What if you actually brought up like goats, like wild mountain goats
With like horns and shit.
with like the horns and shit?
if you
Yeah.
think
I mean, they're
If you think about it, like the Ants are just like one like good head coach away from like a championship.
Yeah. If anybody's seen the show Rick and Morty, there's an episode titled the Vindicators, and there's a superhero there, and his name is 1 Million Ants. And basically, it's just a million ants banded together, and they take the form of a human, but like they can like they kick some ass. I'm telling you, like they can like just a million ants, and there are 10 quadrillion ants in the world. Like if you could band them together and get them to cooperate, ants are unstoppable, absolutely unstoppable.
But how do they cooperate?
They can communicate by like basically telepathy.
I mean, what are like the natural predators of ants, though? This is my question.
Raid.
Yeah, raid. That was my go-to.
Basically any bird, small
Raid
rodents.
is technically technology, though. I'm pretty sure.
They're like
Anteaters.
slightly larger
Snakes, right?
insects. What about
Slightly
snakes?
larger ants.
Snakes just
I feel
really
like larger
freak me out.
insects could body ants.
Yeah.
There won't be as
Not
many
if there's
of them.
like 20 ants.
But like if you have like all those ants,
least.
like they could all just team up on like a single big insect, and like what
you
are they
ever
gonna do?
seen like the anthill like take down like the huge beetles and shit that like walk up onto their hill? I mean, they get totally like destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, it's like singular ant, he's gonna get killed like 99.99999% of the time. But when you throw in the entire ant hill, I think it becomes. Having sat on a couple ant hills in my day as a
Oh,
youngin,
boy.
not on purpose. I was a youngin at the time. And I know how very painful that
Youngin.
is, and I can't even imagine like if we were actually like going to war. And this is even counting like in like South America where the ants are like, you know, like a couple inches big around and long. Like they're huge. Like I would not want to screw with them at all.
I guess we'll have to wait until the next draft to reshuffle the league and dethrone the ants from there.
Yeah.
A lot of
Supremacy.
these theoretical questions were inspired to me by a YouTube channel called Top Tiers, I believe, and basically the YouTube channel like ranks like animals in tier lists, basically. So he'll have like a video like dog tier lists or like jungle cat tier lists, and have like, all right, leopard is B tier because their stealthiness, but they're like, and then gives a bunch of reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Big fan of that channel.
Awesome.
Highly recommend. It's a good watch.
Shout out the channel. This has been an awesome debate about animals and
80-year-olds.
babies and grandmas.
It's all you need for a good.
Once more, no people or animals were actually harmed or even tested upon on these theories.
All right. So, Brandon, what are we going to be talking about?
Talking about the NBA season. We're midway through, and there's already a lot of interesting storylines going on, a lot of controversy, and a lot of arguments to be made for every team in the league.
Yeah, so let's get right into it. We've seen, just a little bit more than halfway, half of the NBA season so far. What do you think are the big things that stand out in the East?
The East, definitely how good the Raptors are doing, along with Giannis Antetokounmpo, who I would argue is probably the MVP right now.
Ooh,
that
is a hot take, my
definitely a hot take. I know a lot of people are arguing for Harden or Curry, but right now I just feel like, based on how well the Bucks are doing, I think Giannis should be considered the MVP. Because if you take him off that team, I don't think they do as well.
I mean, I just want to talk about the rest of the East real quick. So if you look at the East standings, you've got Toronto in first, Milwaukee, then the Pacers, and then the 76ers, all of whom have at least 30 wins. And then you look at the rest of the standings in the East, there's only two other teams that are above 500, and that's Boston in the 5 seed, and another surprise, the Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah, Brooklyn Nets.
In the 6 seed.
Stock in the 6.
And then everyone else is either 500 or below, which I think is interesting, especially considering there's only two teams in the West that are above 30 wins, and that's Denver and Golden State. But they all but 5 of the other teams in the West are above 500.
Yeah, I would say that there's a lot of the NBA is kind of
Definitely lopsided a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, and it has been for years. Like, this isn't anything new,
Mm-hmm.
especially in the last couple of years since the Warriors have been so good and so much talent is just more concentrated itself in the West, and especially see, like, the West dominating All-Star games and stuff like that. Like,
The only difference is that LeBron actually moved to the West.
LeBron did move to the West, and we see how much good that's doing the Lakers. They're sitting in the 9 seed right now. They're only a half game back of the Lakers in the 8 spot.
The Lakers are...
They're only half game back of the Clippers in the 8 spot.
They might need him back, is pretty much what's happening.
Yeah, I mean, basically, to put it frankly, the Lakers have kind of sucked without LeBron this year.
Yes and no. I mean, I think that LeBron's absence has made way for, the rise and kind of, development of other players around him.
I mean, the wildest part is that now Lonzo's hurt, too.
Yeah, Lonzo being hurt is not good, but when they had Lonzo going, Kyle Kuzma is looking amazing right now.
I do like Kyle Kuzma.
He was balling out in prime time and everything, under the lights, Staples Center.
Yep.
There's him, Josh Hart. Shout out Josh Hart. Shout out Sidwell. He's looking really good. Every night he guards the opposing team's best player.
We saw how he did against Harden, though.
You see, Harden did go off, but
Harden dropped 48.
Yeah.
On Josh Hart's head.
I don't think he dropped it on Josh Hart's head.
I'm pretty sure he dropped it on Josh Hart's head.
Plus, a lot of that is free throws.
He does take a lot of free throws. That's kind of wild. That how many free throws he takes. Like, he's taken.
The Lakers are without a doubt a different team without LeBron.
Yeah.
But to be expected.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing that LeBron's actually out because he can give guidance to that young core and give them tips and advice on ways to develop. You see, like, how difficult it is, like, being a leader, just because you see what happened with Kyrie. He kind of had, like, a little bit of a meltdown, and he actually called LeBron to apologize for when he was a youth and, like, how he knows how difficult it is being a leader. So LeBron's kind of taking that role pretty well.
Yeah, so going back to Milwaukee, you mentioned Giannis earlier. They're looking really good. And it's not just Giannis that's, having an MVP caliber season. I mean, there's Malcolm Brogdon, Eric Bledsoe.
Former Rookie of the Year, Malcolm Brogdon.
Yeah. Brook Lopez, who I think is a very impressive
I mean, I thought he was
center.
Washed up. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
I thought he was kind of washed up.
I think part of the whole Brook Lopez situation is he was on the Nets when they were at their worst. Like, it's kind of just bad for him.
Yeah. But I think that him adjusting his game is one of the greatest things that he could do in his development because the NBA is really a shooting league. There's no two ways about it. The Houston Rockets, literally their whole team and their game plan is just take a three. If they miss it, they have a tenacious rebounder to get it, or usually they do, but now he's hurt. And then they just dish it back out and take another one. Wash, rinse, repeat. So Brook Lopez being able to really be disgusting from 3-point. I mean, he makes he makes more shots than your average center does, and obviously takes more. I think that is you can't really overstate that in terms of the impact he's making.
Yeah, definitely. I like what you said about the shooting league. Pretty much, the 3-point line has definitely become a lot more important in today's league, and I think Brook Lopez is really smart to adjust that to his game because a team needs at least 2 3-point shooters to contend for a championship. That's just the way that the game has evolved. So now we have centers like DeMarcus Cousins, who, welcome back, he can take a 3-point shot every once in a while. You have all these centers who are starting to change their game a little bit to compensate for the changing game, and Brook Lopez is doing the same exact thing, and eventually all teams are going to have a center that are going to have a 3-point shooting center.
My biggest thing with the Bucks is that, I do the eye test, right? I look at the Bucks and I say, wow, this is a good team. The one thing I don't think about the Bucks is, wow, this is a team that's going to win in the playoffs when it really matters. Because I look at their playoff record. They've made the playoffs like 8 times since the turn of the century. And 9 times. 9 times since the turn of the century. They have won 2 postseason series. The last 8 times they've been in the playoffs, they've lost in the first round.
I mean, I think it's a good time to talk about teams that look good in regular season and then don't look too good in the postseason to transition to the Raptors, if anyone wants to start with that.
The Raptors getting absolutely mopped by LeBron last year. Very ugly series if you watched it. I mean, LeBron just basically dominated the Raptors by himself.
Very true, very true. And yeah, LeBron was a monster in those playoffs.
It was
one thing that I would like to point out is that, we're living in a time, what a time to be alive, shout out Drake.
We live in a society.
No, we do, no. What a time to be alive where Kawhi Leonard is wearing a Toronto Raptors jersey.
What a time. I mean, I am actually a really big Kawhi Leonard fan. I really like Kawhi Leonard. I think he's, obviously one of the best defensive players in the game. But what he's doing offensively this year has been pretty amazing considering his history, too. He's averaging 28 points per game. For a defensive player of that caliber to be averaging 28 points per game it's pretty impressive.
His ISO game is nice. I mean, you see multiple times where he just takes over the game in the fourth. So
yeah, he's a really old school type player. If you watch him play, he takes his time, very methodical. He doesn't rush he's not over there doing crazy dribble moves trying to get to the basket. I mean, he is very efficient with his moves, and he knows exactly what he needs to do to get to the basket, and that's what makes a good basketball player.
The Raptors really, Kyle Lowry averaging 10 assists a game. Pascal Siakam, how do you say his name?
Siakam or something
like that? Yeah,
Siakam,
I think that's right.
Yeah.
He looks really good.
He has been looking good, which is, wow.
I mean, he's averaging 15 points a game.
Yeah.
And, if you ask the casual NBA viewer who, hasn't really been paying attention this year, they probably don't know who you're talking about. He's a bucket. Him, Danny Green on the perimeter, Serge Ibaka in the paint. I mean, that's a team that I don't really want to see in the postseason.
Especially in the New East, which isn't going to have the Cavs with LeBron in it.
Yeah, I mean, the East is really wide open. I'm really looking forward to the playoffs, really on both sides, to be honest, because, you pretty much know that the Lakers are going to make the playoffs, whether that means that the Clippers are in or not. We'll get to that in a minute. But really on the East, I mean, look at like the potential matchups. I mean, Toronto's going to be going deep. Milwaukee's going deep. Boston's going to be like a mid-seed unless they figure stuff out.
If the playoffs started today, I think the most intriguing matchup is it's got to be the 76ers and the Celtics.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cliche considering it's the 4 and 5 seeds. But if you look at the teams you got, it would be Bucks, Hornets, Raptors, Heat, Pacers, Nets. And Pacers, Nets would be a good series. Indiana's been really good this year, too. We haven't talked about them, but Victor Oladipo.
I love
what
Victor
a guy.
Oladipo.
What a guy. Probably best player in Indiana since, Reggie Miller, honestly. You can't convince me.
What about poor
That's
Paul
crazy.
George?
Yeah,
I know
Paul
what I
George
said.
was there. Wow.
Dude.
I mean, I don't know. I've seen Paul George play live. I mean, he's something else, man.
I mean, but Victor Oladipo.
I know you remember in 2016, right? 2015 when he was he was the man.
Yeah, he was leading those Pacers to close to a 40-win season. And
yeah, but
for
I
roster,
feel like he had a lot more help than Victor Oladipo did, though. I mean, that's just how I feel.
Yeah.
Again, the eye test thing. I look at Oladipo.
He did
and
have
I look
a Roy
at Paul
Hibbert.
George. Exactly. I look at the Paul George Pacers, and I look at the Victor Oladipo Pacers, and I think the Victor Oladipo Pacers have a way better chance of the playoffs. Which also might be part of because, post-LeBron Cleveland is just an apocalypse again. It's just a total wasteland. They're at 9 wins.
Yeah.
They're 9-39.
Ugh.
It's sad.
They're just... And they really didn't lose any major pieces other than LeBron.
Oh, that's how big of a deal LeBron is.
Yeah.
I mean... I just have no words. They're just so horrible.
I don't think there's anything really to say about Cleveland. I mean, I don't even know who their leading scorer is this year.
I don't know.
I mean, when you got J.R. Smith asking to get out of there, that's when you know something's up with that franchise.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kevin Love, 19 points a game.
Yeah.
Seti Osman, 11.
Who's that?
He's the power forward. He was in the finals last year.
Oh, was he really?
Yeah.
I didn't watch the finals last year because I wasn't interested in watching the same matchup again.
Yeah, well, you didn't miss much.
I mean, Colin Sexton's looking nice. But,
Colin Sexton's kind of a bucket, but
yeah, he's good.
He's also really
I mean,
young.
it's a squad of players that just aren't as good as their names are. I mean, you look at a Tristan Thompson, whose prime time, came with LeBron at the helm, and he was really the fourth scoring option. And he was just a rebound and dish kind of guy.
They can't rely on
that Kardashian curse.
Oh,
They got Delly back, though.
Oh.
yeah, that's
Nice.
true. And then George Hill, Larry Nance, J.R. Smith,
I'm a big Larry Nance guy. I'm a fan of Larry Nance.
I mean, don't get me wrong, when he gets a dime from LeBron and dunks on somebody, it's nice, but
LeBron's not there, though.
that's the thing, you know.
I also
So-
like him just because he went to Wyoming, and I think anybody who went to Wyoming is just kind of a badass.
You're
Like, I
saying
feel the
that-
same about
you're
Josh
sa-
Allen.
Okay, I was
Yeah.
going to say Josh Allen.
Yeah, pretty much anyone that went to Wyoming.
Yeah, so talking about the 76ers, I mean, yeah, I mean, I was a big believer in the process. Yeah, I really trusted the process. I mean, that's really how the league goes. Unless you're, I don't even know what some terrible organization is, because I was going to say the Nets, but now the
Orlando
Nets
or
are
something?
Yeah, unless you're like Orlando.
Oh, Charlotte.
Yeah, unless you're
Yeah,
Charlotte.
Oh, poor Kemba Walker, man.
But like,
man's
you know, the
career.
league cycles. So
Yeah, it does.
the Nets were like, you know, they were in the playoffs with that, you know, crazy Paul Pierce, Kevin
Oh,
Garnett.
that
Done-
and
weird,
worst
weird,
trade
terrible
ever. One of the
trade.
worst
Weird
trades
team.
ever.
And then they were terrible for a few years, but they've been rebuilding, and now, you know, they're starting to feel the taste the fruits of their labor.
Yeah, it definitely helps picking up Jimmy Butler from a very odd Timberwolves franchise.
You want to talk about, you know, beleaguered franchises in
Yeah.
the league over the past couple of years, that the Timberwolves have got to be up there, especially with, like,
For sure.
that just so good core that they had in, like, the early 2000s with Kevin
And
Love,
apparently their
Kevin Garnett.
arena is like one of the worst in professional sports.
I
outside.
wouldn't know.
right?
I've never even been to Minnesota.
Yeah.
so
It doesn't even
I-
surprise me, though, to be honest. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, at least their WNBA team's pretty good. I
Yeah.
think the Lynx just kind of, like, dominate the WNBA
I believe
every
so,
year.
yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't know.
Isn't that,
I wouldn't
isn't
know
that
either.
Maya Moore's? You know?
I think that is Maya Morse.
Yeah.
Actually, you know, she's threatening to hold out,
Is that right?
just like Le'Veon did. Yep.
Just like Le'Veon.
Le'Veon tweeted, "Get your bag, Maya."
Oh,
That's nice that they're supporting each other.
Yeah, it's setting a bad precedent, I think. But
But yeah, going back to the 76ers, Ben Simmons, Jimmy Butler, JJ Redick.
no, Markelle Fultz.
Yeah, let's talk
Oh.
about Fultz. He was rehabbing, I guess, in a facility in California. No, it was in California. California. And he just recently returned to Philadelphia to hopefully make a return definitely this season.
I mean, hopefully, he can shoot now.
Yeah,
All I'm saying is that if you watched his senior year in college, or no, his last year, freshman year in college.
I think he was a one and done, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was one.
yeah.
Yeah. So if you watch that highlight tape,
I mean, he was a bucket.
yeah.
Like, straight up, like, no other way
Yeah.
to put it. He absolutely dominated the Pac-12 when he was at Washington.
I mean, you don't get drafted that high unless
Yeah.
you're a bucket.
Like, first overall.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's pretty high.
Yeah.
I thought that whole situation was really odd because I looked at highlights from his college days and his jump shot looked completely normal, and then came to the NBA and something was up. And there was like a lot of theories. I know a lot of people said like the trainers were trying to change his jump shot or something, and he couldn't get adjusted to it. But I had a feeling that something was up. I had a feeling that he was injured or something like that. But I don't know why he would hold out so long because he pretty much just became a meme. Especially with that free throw.
Oh my god, the little
Yeah.
shimmy.
Yeah, people
that
were
was
making
just
it
not
into like touchdown celebrations and all sorts of stuff. So he pretty much became a meme. So I don't know why, towards the beginning of the season, you would like admit, yeah, something's up with my shoulder, or you know, tell everybody what's up, why you're not shooting as well as your college. Because people to this day are still, people still refer to him as a bust. So I hope that he comes back and definitely
Proves them wrong.
Yeah, proves them wrong, because you hate to see that talent wasted.
And the thing about the 76ers is their oldest player is JJ Redick. He's 34. And there's only 4 total players on the roster who have 10 or more years of experience. So this is a very young team that I think could actually be dominant in the East for a really long time. I don't want to be too dominant because my Pistons have got to they got to get something in. But
I mean,
this
yeah,
is
and the Wizards got to get theirs at some
that's
point.
never gonna happen though. This is just a really young 76ers team. They got a really good core, and I'm actually really excited to see what they do in the next
for
couple
sure.
of years.
I think they can be a threat for,
Especially coming off 7 wins, like what was it, 4 or 5 years ago?
Yeah.
They were.
Yeah.
I mean, they were gone.
Nobody really
They were
trusted the
so
process
bad.
at that point. But,
They were so bad.
you know.
Now you brought up the Wizards.
Yeah.
So do we even want to talk about that?
I actually would love to talk about the Wizards.
that's
So
I
thought you-
respect
yeah,
that.
I thought
You're
you'd be the
so
one.
brave.
I thought you'd be the one to say no.
yeah, you would think that. I probably, depending on my mood at some points, I don't want to talk about the Wizards. But, 19 and 26, good for 10th in the conference.
10th in the conference.
Yeah. I mean, we could talk about the injury report. I think it really says it all. John Wall, I mean, he's now out for the year with his heel injury, and underwent season-ending surgery. Markieff Morris, who's, he he has like this neck injury that's been lingering, so he hasn't been in. And Dwight Howard, who is out with a back/gluteal injury. He's making progress, but he had lumbar surgery, and he's not expected to return until like February or March. Basically, if you look at the offseason plan for the Wizards, I mean, we had
what a list.
No, right before.
Before this year.
Yeah, so we had John Wall, Bradley Beal, Kelly Oubre, and Markieff Morris, and Dwight Howard, who we really could have revitalized his career. John Wall, going into the season, was considered one of the best passers in the league. And the way that he runs the fast break, the way that he plays defense and offense, and averages 10 assists a game, I think was, I'm going to use past tense now because I don't think he's at that level anymore, was really transcendent almost, and had the potential to be one of the big names in the league. And if anyone could make Dwight Howard look good, I really thought that it could be John Wall.
Yeah.
And combining that with the emergence of Kelly Oubre,
Right.
I think all the injuries, and even before the injuries, just the non-meshing of chemistry, it really just messed the whole thing up.
Well, of course, now we have to talk about the absence of Kelly Oubre.
Yes.
Since he was traded.
For Trevor
Ariza. Welcome back to DC, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
I have very fond memories of Trevor Ariza. He was in the 3-point contest. He led the league at one point with like 48% from downtown. That was really when John Wall was in his prime, and that's kind of crazy to say because he's so young.
Yeah, he's still really young.
It's really.
But that was probably John Wall's best year of his career, and he was diming to Ariza on the wing. Bradley Beal was in his bag and everything. They looked really good in Gortat.
Yeah. We got stuck with them.
yeah.
But the interesting thing about the Wizards is, was it last season or 2 seasons ago that they were in the playoffs?
Last season.
Yeah. So what a
they
fall
got bounced
off.
early. Yeah.
Yeah. So what a fall off.
Last year was also injuries as well.
Yeah, but look at that roster. Bradley Beal, I don't think he's going to be there for that much longer.
Yeah, there's a lot of trade rumors surrounding him.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are talking about him to the Lakers.
Bradley Beal to the Lakers
that'd be a big help.
a very crowded locker room.
I
think it would be fine.
I mean, but you're going to have a lot of dudes in there that
there are a lot of guards.
A lot of guards and a lot of guys that think they're starting. Like, so do you drop Caldwell Pope? Like, do you release him or do you trade Caldwell Pope if you get Bradley Beal?
Honestly, I'm fine with that.
I don't see anything wrong with it either.
Like, someone's got to go at that point.
Someone does have to go.
I mean,
we
I
all
think
know
that's
it's not going to be Lonzo. It's not going to be Josh Hart.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
who does that leave?
So this is the problem. Like, they're going to make a trade at that point for Bradley Beal. So they'll probably try to solve those problems. I don't think they want to get rid of Lonzo. I don't think they.
But I don't think they
you
want
don't need to give up Lonzo to get Bradley Beal.
But I don't think that they wouldn't.
Yeah, you do.
What?
I mean,
think so?
what else can they offer? What are their bargaining pieces?
I mean, I don't know that much about the Lakers. I don't know, all their bargaining pieces or anything like that.
I mean, they're not going to give a Kuz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brandon Ingram, maybe.
Yeah, that's like that would be it. Yeah.
I don't
Do the Wizards want Brandon Ingram?
I don't think like for any deal really. I don't think the Lakers want to give up Lonzo, but I don't think if they got a good deal, I don't think they would say, "Oh yeah, no, we're keeping him." I think they would give him up for a great deal, for something they need.
I mean, if I personally put myself in Magic Johnson's shoes,
Sorry.
It's just it's just really hard.
That was low hanging fruit.
If I had to put myself,
I knew this shit was gonna happen too.
I knew like right when you clapped, you were like still laughing a bit. I was like, there's no way.
if I had to put myself in Magic Johnson's shoes, it's really hard for me to think of a deal where I would want to give up Lonzo Ball, the 2nd overall pick, for Bradley Beal. How old is he? He's old. I mean, what is he like?
Bradley Beal was
He's like
drafted
25.
in 2013.
I don't even know, dude.
Yeah,
I
He's
just-
not old.
I find it really hard to consider the thought of giving up Lonzo Ball in order to get Bradley Beal, just because he's so young. I'm not a huge Lonzo fan. I think his dad is an idiot, first of all.
I don't think that his dad, really
That's
factors into the equation.
No,
He's
I
been
know.
kind of on the DL.
He
for
has
the
been on
past
the
year.
DL because Lonzo's not been playing that great.
Lonzo's been all right.
I mean,
I'd
he's
say
been
he's all right.
but he hasn't been like the second coming of Jesus Christ like his father promised. Like,
Yeah, well, he just wanted to get his son in the league, so.
he did that, and then one of them, like, committed a crime overseas and probably killed his chances of ever playing in the association.
LiAngelo's
Yeah, LiAngelo.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, outside of LeVar Ball's antics, I think that their core is good. They're just missing that star power. So they have LeBron James.
That's why they got LeBron, though.
Yeah,
Because it was the star
but the
power.
problem is that in this league, you can't really just win with one star anymore.
I mean, the Cavs did.
Well,
They had like Kyrie.
that was one of the greatest
Well,
finals
that-
performances of all time.
Yeah, he had Kyrie as well, though.
He did.
And, considering all this, I don't know that they really need anything except for, like, a big splash in free agency.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people are talking about Anthony Davis to LA, but I think it was like today or yesterday he liked this person's comment, and it was like him saying something about Anthony Davis isn't going to LA, he's happy where he is, and Anthony Davis liked that comment, so maybe he's trying to say he doesn't want to go to LA, maybe he wants to stay in NOLA. And
Well, I mean, if he wants to win, he's going to go to LA.
oh yeah, of course, yeah.
And I remember when like Kawhi was trying to get to LA really badly too.
That was wild.
Yeah, I mean, I still think if unless Toronto happens to go all the way this season, I don't know if he's going to stay in Toronto.
It's just a lot of these teams in the East, I just cannot see beating most of the teams in the West.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the West, obviously you have to look at Golden State, which is just a whole nother topic. I don't think any team in the league can beat them in a seven-game series.
Yeah.
I don't think that's possible.
I mean, we just saw they made their really appearance of their first, the first glimpse of their all-star lineup of Steph, Clay, KD, Draymond, and Boogie Cousins. I'm shaking at really the thought of this, I mean, Boogie only put up like 14 and 6.
Yeah,
but
fouled out.
But
Surprise.
he's not going to foul out every game, and
If anybody does foul out every game, it's going to be Boogie Cousins.
well, yeah,
But
but at the end of the day, I mean, there are going to be games where he eats. There's going to be games where Draymond eats.
Yeah.
Games where KD eats. Steph,
Yeah.
Clay. And, we've seen Klay Thompson pour in like 38 points in a quarter
On
Oh, yeah.
dribbles.
on 4 dribbles. And then we've seen Steph Curry, shoot like, I don't even know.
Shoot the
Yeah.
lights out of every.
Like it's a
every
Super
arena.
Bowl, man. Like it's 49ers Ravens. I mean,
That was stupid.
that was a terrible joke. I'd like to apologize to everyone listening to that joke. But I mean, even with KD, I mean, at what point does it stop?
Yeah.
You can't have a game where all you hissed. You can't have a game where all of them don't do well.
Yeah, definitely the toughest lineup to guard. If Steph goes, if you manage to keep Steph contained, Clay goes off, keep them both contained, KD goes off, and I mean, you can't keep all three contained. It's just impossible.
There's really no winning formula against the Warriors.
You just have to hope they miss.
Yeah.
That's pretty much, and it can happen. It can definitely
I
happen.
mean,
but
if you think about the finals that they lost to the Cavaliers in 7 games in 2016 was it? You think about Game 7, and you think about, there's 2 plays that really decided that game. There's the LeBron chase down block, and then the Kyrie dagger 3.
Yeah.
So if one of those 2 plays doesn't go Cleveland's way, the Warriors are 4 consecutive Finals champions.
Yeah.
Very arguably, yeah, for sure.
So it's just we've really never seen this level of dominance in any of our lifetimes in any sport.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to talk about like the 1920s or 30s Yankees or like
the 60s Celtics is where I was going to go. Yeah.
50s, 60s Celtics, Bill Russell. We've never seen anything like this. This
Yeah.
is just an extremely dominant franchise that's been extremely dominant for, a significant period of time in sports the last 5 years.
It's kind of the, only super team, I'd say. I mean, to be fair, it was really kind of started by the 2012 Miami Heat where they had the big three and everything, but really not on the same level in my honest
It's a
opinion.
big 5.
Yeah,
right
it
now.
really is a big
Right.
5.
Yeah.
And they have a finals MVP in
On
Iguodala
the bench.
on the
I mean,
bench.
they have 6 All-Stars on that team.
Yeah.
So what the hell are you going to do? I mean,
there's nothing you can do.
Exactly.
You pray.
You just
Basically.
hope that they
Yeah.
happen to.
As
But
long
that's
as
the
you
thing.
stay in the game and then something goes your way at the end. I mean,
If you hope that they have a game where they all happen to be shooting poorly, how many times is that going to happen out of a 7-game series?
Exactly.
Maybe one.
You have to be the luckiest person on the planet
Right.
for it to go your way in that situation.
Unfortunately, it looks like we're going to get another Warriors championship. 'Cause I just don't see them losing in a 7-game series.
Yeah.
Like, I want to see them lose.
don't get me wrong, like the Rockets had a shot,
They
that
did have
one
a shot.
that
Yeah,
one
yeah,
time,
yeah.
but
Oh, yeah.
without like Chris Paul and everything. But I don't think they can, like, especially with Boogie
Right.
Yeah.
instead of JaVale McGee on the boards.
I mean, as much as I want to see... I mean, I really don't have that much. I don't have anything against the Warriors. I don't think they're, like, cheap or any, like...
I think Steph Curry is really fun to watch.
I think he's fun to watch,
Yeah.
too. And I think the Warriors are a fun team to watch. Except I've been watching them in the finals for the past 4 years.
Yeah.
And maybe if the Warriors make the finals play someone other than the Cavs, maybe I'll be a little bit interested. But it's still the Warriors. It's still the same team I've been watching for the last 4 years. And, I mean, honestly, it could start to hurt the NBA if the Warriors are this dominant for this long, especially in this age of, we need these high ratings and all this social media stuff. People are going to get sick of the Warriors. And people already are starting to get sick of the Warriors.
Yeah, so I'm not going to lie. Last year during the finals, I don't think I watched every single game. I definitely missed at least one, and then I didn't watch every minute of the other 3.
Yeah.
I
I watched
mean,
snippets.
Yeah, there's only so much that you can take of a 4-0, waxing of the Cavaliers.
Right.
I mean, it's not like it was a surprise or anything. So.
No, it wasn't.
I think it's fair to say that we're definitely not going to see a Warriors-Cleveland final again. It's definitely going to be a way better team.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot more competitive.
God, I hope so, man.
I hope,
hope
I
so,
hope
yeah.
so. I feel like it is going to be a more interesting finals to watch and a more fun finals to watch.
I agree. But, going on to the rest of the West, I think there's a lot of very intriguing things we could talk about here. The 2 seed on Monday, January 21st, is actually the Denver Nuggets.
The Nuggies.
Yeah.
Now let me talk about my man, Jokic.
Yeah.
What a
Nikola
dog.
Jokic.
Oh my
What a
God.
dog, honestly.
In my opinion, he is a dark horse candidate for the Most Valuable Player award this year.
Yeah.
He's playing out of his mind.
He is absolutely playing.
Now imagine a dude that's averaging 20 points a game, getting 10 boards, and then 8 assists. I mean, can you really ask for anything more from your
he's
center?
almost averaging a triple-double.
Yeah.
Which is, Russell Westbrook type territory, which I don't even think he's doing this year.
Yeah.
He's not been typical Russ.
Mhm.
I mean, Jokic is having a great year. He's, there's a lot of, Eastern European guys that are having good years. So you think about Jokic and
Antetokounmpo.
he's Greek, but I
Yeah.
guess.
I mean, that's
and,
Eastern Europe.
Vukovic.
Yeah.
I mean, this is Luka Doncic.
Luka.
Oh.
How could we forget about Luka Doncic? And I'm sure if Kristaps Porzingis was healthy, he'd be having
He'd
a hell of a
be
year.
dogging, yeah.
So, I don't know. I'm actually kind of curious to see. I'm going to go off on a little bit of a
Yeah.
tangent here.
Yeah.
If this European pipeline to the NBA thing kind of continues, because I'm a fan. I think Frank Tequila is fun to watch. I think
Tomas Satoransky had his first triple-double just, 2 weeks ago. That was
think
exciting.
Porzingis is fun to watch. All these European guys are fun to watch.
Yeah. I think, speaking as a Wizards fan, I don't, love it, but that's really speaking on experience. I mean, we have a terrible history of drafting busted European projects. But, if you look at the future, it's exciting.
It is exciting.
I mean, Luka is kind of the second coming of Kobe Bryant.
That was a little bit
That
wild.
was pretty
Yeah.
bold.
It was
I'm
very
gonna
bold,
excuse
but
you.
I
Just
mean,
because
we've
that
only
step
seen.
back.
Yeah, I mean, we've only seen what a little over
44
half a
games.
season of him. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he already has a pretty impressive highlight reel in the NBA.
Yeah,
Just
not.
that ferocious step back. I mean, it's just disgusting.
Yeah, Harden could never.
No.
He could,
Harden
could,
needs
but
an
he just takes
extra
3
step.
steps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Harden needs an
Um,
extra step.
But yeah, not only is he pretty much the undisputed rookie of the year, he's also potential all-star in his rookie year, which is wild. 20 points he's averaging, 6.7 rebounds, and 5 assists. Rookie season, that's not too bad. I would actually say that's very good.
Very well.
Yeah, very well. Yeah, I think he has potential to make the All-Star.
I agree.
The All-Star.
But the
team.
only problem is that his team is not in the playoffs right now. What are
true.
they? What seed are they?
I think they're 11. I want to say the Mavs are.
Anyways,
The Mavs are 13.
So they're quite a few games
only
out of
5 games out of the 8th seed.
Yeah, but
Still 13th.
there are 6 teams vying for that spot.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's going to be very interesting to see how that plays out. But the difference between that and a team like Denver is that they have Jamal Murray. Gary Harris is a bucket. Paul Millsap.
Michigan State.
Yeah, Paul Millsap's looking good. I mean, this is a team that's kind of clicking on all cylinders right now.
Yeah, for sure. The Clippers fall off.
Yeah, the Clippers.
Oh,
the
no.
Clippers were looking really good at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Tobias Harris was going to be an All-Pro second team.
Tobias Harris.
Well,
Maybe
he
third
could
team.
still.
Monster.
Wow, third team.
Wow.
Okay,
That's kinda
power
disrespectful.
like small forwards in
Okay,
the West.
that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, Clippers started off the season great. Haven't been looking too good these past couple games.
They're the 8th seed right now.
Yeah.
25 and 21.
Yeah. However, even at the 8th seed, they're still like 2 games away from 3rd seed. I mean, Oklahoma
Really gives
City.
you a sense as to how crowded
So
the West is.
is looking a little crowded.
East is
Which
not
means
crowded.
that the Mavericks, in turn, are only 7 games away from that 3 seed.
That's true.
Which,
They would have to go. I mean, that's not even that crazy of. I think if they go on a tear in one of the teams that's currently in the bottom 6 spots of the playoffs has.
I mean, really,
some
all
sort
the
of
teams
drop-off.
between 3 and like 10. I
Yeah.
mean, if they have like a bad week,
I mean,
Yeah.
Mavericks would just go right up in there. I mean, they got
Yeah.
Luka Doncic.
anyone
Kendrick
could go right
Nunn.
up in there. Yeah, that's facts.
It's definitely
Except
a toss.
Phoenix.
However, Phoenix, see you next year.
But yeah, so
Number 1
Tobias.
pick again.
So sorry,
Yeah.
Devin Booker.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry you're there.
Yeah, he's kind of wasting away there. I'm not gonna lie, I love Devin Booker, but
Yeah. Phoenix Suns, good luck
unfortunate.
with the first pick.
it's still a process.
Nathan Knight.
there.
Tonight.
Nathan Knight, shout out Nathan Knight.
I mean, if I'm
Bro,
the Clippers, I
you
look at
listen?
my rookie Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and he's
Yeah.
having a pretty good year too.
Oh,
He's
for sure.
averaging 10 points per game as a rookie, which is pretty good, shooting 47% from the field and 35% from 3, which, I mean, there's really just...
I'm good
You really
with
can't
that.
really complain.
Yeah.
I mean, especially as a rookie.
when you have Gallinari and Bradley
Yeah.
out there, yeah.
Well,
Tobias Harris.
Gallinari, he got hurt against the Warriors, which I like to argue that is one of the reasons why the second half of that game went a lot different than the first half.
Gallinari was out.
But we also, I think Lou Williams is still out as well, so that takes a big hit. But it just kind of shows, like, at the start of the season, I argued that Clippers were definitely an underdog team just because they have a lot of guys who kind of have a chip on the shoulder and something to prove. It also shows that you kind of need at least one all-star on your team to even be in consideration.
For playoffs, yeah.
Well, I mean, Clippers are kind of challenging that right now, but I think down the road, like come playoff time when you may have 2 big injuries for a team, if you don't have like an all-star caliber player, then you're not really going to do anything.
They're really missing like that guy that puts up
They are.
20, like really another guy that puts up 20 points a night, 20, 25.
Yeah.
Tobias Harris can't do it himself.
He can't do it himself. I wish we have the secret weapon who can only play 10 minutes a game, Boban.
How tall is he?
He's like 7'3",
He's 7'3", 290.
290.
His wingspan's like ridiculous.
Big
Like
wingspan. Doesn't even
right? Yeah.
doesn't need to jump to dunk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we need to get rid of Gortat. He's not really doing it well for us.
As a Wizards fan, having
Can you
Gortat
please
was-
take him back?
we
I don't think they want him
We
back.
don't want him. Although, Ernie Grunfeld, you really don't know what
Oh my
he's
God,
thinking.
That guy. DC just has horrible sports execs.
Yeah.
Outside of like Mike Rizzo
Yeah.
for the Nats, I mean, Dan
But-
Snyder.
Clippers could definitely capitalize on the offseason because I
Mhm.
know, like,
And the trade deadline.
yeah, that. But I'm really just looking for the offseason because I know Kawhi wants to go to LA, but he never said directly he wants to go to the Lakers. And Clippers
That's
have
not
that.
so hopeful.
That's all I'm gonna say is he never said he wants to go to the Lakers.
So the best thing about the Lakers is their location. I think that's... I mean, you don't get to play with LeBron at that point.
Okay, but you get to play with Boban.
Yeah,
And
why
you
even
get-
play with
when he
LeBron when you can
plays.
play?
Yeah.
You could play with Boban.
I
like,
guess being
5
in
minutes
LA
a game.
is being in LA, but...
I mean, all I'm gonna say is money talks, and we have a lot of that.
All right.
All right, I mean,
And
that's-
KD, you're welcome to. I won't call you a snake anymore. I'll take it back.
That'd be awesome having LeBron and KD in the same city.
that would be hectic.
Yeah,
honestly.
it would be very hectic.
Bro, it'd be like on site.
Oh.
Like LeBron would just be walking down the street and he'd see KD and he'd just like start throwing hands.
Yeah, speaking of teams that, how the Clippers kind of fell off, teams that have gotten back into the picture is the Rockets. A lot of people were scared at the beginning, but they're
the Rockets
looking like
terrible at the
again.
beginning.
They really look bad.
So I think that just shows you, especially with the way the NBA is looking right now, is like if teams are kind of looking a little off but still have a chance of the playoffs, just watch out for them.
Yeah, I mean, it really just took like a hot streak for the Rockets to get right back in it, and now I see no reason to believe that they'll finish below the 5th seed that they're at right now. I think they'll eclipse that, actually. Led by the spectacular play of my most valuable player pick for the 2018-19 NBA season, James Harden. The Beard himself. He is averaging 35.7 points per game.
It's crazy.
And he is going off on everyone he plays.
He's dropped 30 like 19 games in a row.
Yeah. Tonight, he actually plays the Lakers, and it's actually the highest over-under that Vegas has ever set for a single player's point total at 41. So, he could definitely hit that. Yeah, Josh Hart will have a lot of fun guarding him.
No, he won't.
I believe.
Now, one of the biggest surprises in the West this year, definitely the comeback of Derrick Rose. 19.3 points per game, 2.9 rebounds, 4.8 assists from a guy that we thought would never play again or never even drop more than 10 points again. Definitely an amazing comeback.
I would say he's probably, probably. I don't see any world where he's not an all-star this year.
Yeah, definitely. He has more votes than Harden. I think he's second behind Curry.
Yeah.
So, very good chance that we see him in the All-Star game.
And I definitely think he's also top 3 for comeback player of the year.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
like you talk about a story. That guy, he's had a rough career, but he's definitely bringing it back this season.
Going from Rookie of the Year MVP now, 9 years.
Youngest MVP at that.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
It's great to watch him too. I mean,
he's a fun guy to watch. I like him a lot.
The game winners and everything. It's a fun ride right now.
He's just happy. He's happy to play basketball again. He had that stint in Cleveland where he kind of went missing for a little bit.
Mm-hmm. He straight up they didn't know where he was.
Yeah, actually, missing as in they literally could not find him. But yeah, he's definitely happy playing basketball again. Back to not back to MVP caliber, obviously, but definitely back to like a household name again.
And we'll be looking forward to seeing what the rest of the NBA season has in store for us. I mean, it's been a wild ride already, and I just can't wait for the playoffs. So
it's gonna be exciting. It'll be an exciting postseason.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
With any luck, the Warriors won't win another title, and we'll get to see someone else. But
who knows? Maybe the Wizards will make a run. And
I feel like that seems really unlikely.
Let me just stop you right there.
Yeah, but we'll catch you later for the playoff episode that we do, and
nice little playoff preview.
Yeah,
talk about the second half.
This has been Abhishek,
Joey,
Brandon,
Daniel,
Ethan,
Dylan,
And Ethan again.
We'll see you next time.